Hi, my name is Efrain Happy Guerrero. Thank you so very much for joining me on my channel, your only Medicare store. Today, I will teach you how to make the best soup ever. This is, I know how to make good caldos, the Mexican beef. I know how to make good chicken soups. I know how to make American soups. I've been cooking since I was in middle school. I went to culinary school and I've been cooking almost all my life. But this is one of my best soups that I make. And it's called a Tom Kha Gai. Tom means soup and Kha means the galangal. It's a galangal root that we use. And Gai is chicken. Funny, chicken in Spanish is gallina, so kind of makes sense, huh? I'm going to introduce you to all the ingredients I'm using, and then I'm going to show you how I do everything step by step. But it's a great soup. It's the best soup ever, I promise you. And many people cook it many ways, okay? Like Tom, T-O-M. This is a Thailand, okay? A Thai soup. Tom, it means boiled chicken. I do it differently. I don't boil my chicken. Of course, I cook the chicken in the stock in the coconut milk, but I sear it first. I will show you. Let's get started by, first, I'm gonna give you a list of the 16 ingredients that I use, and I have them all for you here. From the very most important Thai ingredients, I have here Thai chili peppers. They're very hot, but not as hot as, I don't think they're as hot as serrano peppers. But I'm using 1, 2, 3, I'm using like 7 peppers. Here, Tom Kha Gai, the soup, Kha, K-H-A, is because of the galangal. This is a root. It's almost like ginger, but this one smells like a Christmas tree. It smells like pine, and it's just super, super aromatic. It's great. Don't mistake this root for ginger. It looks just like it. It's a rhizome, and a rhizome is a root that grows. It grows almost along the ground level, and then it sprouts new plants from its own root. Unlike regular roots, they just go deep into the ground, they cap off, and then they feed water to the plant. But rhizomes, they just grow, they spread, and they sprout new plants. It's almost like, in English, I think we call them canas, and in Spanish, it's called the coyoles. Those plants have rhizome roots. They grow, the root goes, and then it sprouts out another plant. Okay, so we have here our red peppers, cangales, and then we have kaffir lime leaves. Okay, and I get these at an Asian food market here in town. And then this is very unique. This is a red curry paste. It's kind of spicy. It's about 1 tablespoon of red curry paste. Okay. Then I'm going to move to the next level that we can almost identify ourselves. I've got 2 minced large cloves of garlic. I have half an onion, and I use yellow onion. And here I have an Roma tomato. You need 1 Roma tomato. In Thai, tomato is pronounced kamatis. It's almost como tomates, tomatoes, kamatis. 1. And then I am using 2 small, you can use 1 large or 2 small shallots here. Shallots, I took the skin off. If you notice, they almost look like a big, giant piece of garlic, or they look like purple onion, but they are neither garlic nor onion. Okay, shallots. Okay, and see, you could use 2 small ones of these, but I'm using these right here, you can see. And then, one of the main ingredients, the very popular ingredient of this recipe, is mushrooms. And there are different mushrooms you could use. I like to use these are called oyster mushrooms. They cook up very well. They're just super delicious. I have here a pack. If you go to the Asian store, this is almost like a less than half a pound of mushrooms, but you can see the size of the bowl, so you can tell it's 1 package of mushrooms. And Can't forget cilantro. I use cilantro here. And let me show you what I'm gonna do. Before I get started, going further, what I'm going to do, I cut the stems off, okay? But I don't throw them away. In order to make this soup, we will need a chicken stock. So I'm making a chicken stock in here. So I'm gonna throw the cilantro stems in there, okay? So now I have my cilantro ready for the soup. All right, so we've got, then the main ingredient of course is chicken and coconut cream. So we've got it, so let me repeat it again. Coconut cream, cilantro, red curry paste, kaffir lime tree leaves, galangal, red Thai peppers, garlic, yellow onion, half a yellow onion. Again, a half a yellow onion. I don't like to use white onions because they're too sweet for this recipe. 2 small or regular size shallots, 1 Roma tomato, about a half a pound of oyster mushrooms, and 4 chicken thighs. And 4 chicken thighs with the bone in. Now I'll explain to you why I leave the bone in, and 2 cans of coconut cream. Okay, now I use some caldo de pollo, or the chicken bouillon, the Nor, with the green label. Maybe like 2 teaspoons into the stock, even though I'm gonna make a good homemade stock. And this recipe takes about 2 tablespoons of premium fish sauce, and I use like about maybe half a tablespoon of this. This is really coconut oil, but it's a coconut sugar, okay? And in here I have 1 teaspoon of kosher salt and 1 teaspoon of baking soda. And I'll explain to you where I'm using this, okay? Now, before I start this recipe, maybe I'll go back 2 hours before. I want to make my chicken stock, and like that, my chicken stock has simmered and it's cooked and it's simmered and it's released all the flavors from the chicken bones and the chicken and all the ingredients before I start the recipe. Okay, so I'm going to show you quickly how I make that chicken stock. I've already washed these chicken thighs. I take the skin and peel it off the chicken and throw it in. I throw it in my my stock pot there. Okay. Now, the reason why I buy chicken with bone in, look, this is how easy I can bone a chicken. I make a cross on one side, turn it around, and I make another cross on the other side. Then I have access to the bone. See. The reason why I buy chicken that with the bone in, because you could buy boneless thighs. Of course, they're more expensive. But the reason why I buy them with the bone in, because I want the bone for my stock. There we go. Let me crack the bone. Now, I cut the pieces into bite sizes. Now you might find some recipes that call for chicken breast. Chicken breast is fine, it's delicious, but to me, chicken breasts are very dry. So, and I always use thighs because they're so moist and juicy. For some of you out there just learning how to cook, let me tell you this about a knife. The sharper the knife, the safer it is. It's always so much easier to cut with a very sharp knife. Dull knives have a tendency to not to cut and slip, and then you might have an accident. So always make sure that your knives are very sharp. I don't mind leaving some meat on the bone because again, it's going to add flavor to my stock anyway. I live on the Texas coast, and so if I'm not making this coconut soup and I have these chicken bones, I freeze them and I save them because they make good bait for crabs. I put those chicken bones in my crab nets. Okay, I've cut my chicken pieces. So as I said, in here I have 1 teaspoon of salt and 1 teaspoon of baking soda. I'm going to add it to the chicken and then mix it well. Just going to watch this, maybe just a dash of fish sauce. Okay, mix it in well and let it sit for the next 15 minutes. Baking soda tenderizes the chicken. Here's a galangal, Galangal, galangal. I have, well, you can see that. See, it's like a little, not a very big handful, but you can see how much I'm using. Okay, the root must have been maybe an inch or an inch and a half, but I sliced it thinly. Now, many Asian cooks or Thai cooks or many people, what they do is they throw this root into the soup. I don't like to do that because when you bite into it, it's not pleasant. It's very flavorful. It smells so great, but it's like eating a piece of wood. So what I do is I put it in my stock. So while that cooks for 30 minutes, it's really gonna absorb the flavor of the galangal. Okay, and then another thing that I put in there, lemongrass. This is lemongrass. I get this at the Asian store also. This is a whole piece of grass here. I really don't need this. I usually use maybe the bottom half, okay? Now watch what I do. I'm gonna cut it, okay? But I peel off the outer layer. See how this is so much cleaner, okay? And remember this, when I use 4 chicken thighs, that means I'm gonna use 2 cans of coconut, 2 cans of coconut cream, and I'm gonna use about 2 of these, two little stalks of lemongrass. But I found this little tiny skinny one, so I'm gonna add it in there. But for every 4 thighs, I use like 2 of these of lemongrass. Notice, I'll cut the bottom tip off of it. Okay. And cut the top. Now see what I said? I take that outer layer of root there. Here, let me rinse it. Now, anytime that I cook Asian food, I cut the vegetables at an angle. I do that with carrots, onions. Now I'm cutting the lemongrass at an angle, but it's not for the looks, it's just that I'm just so used to it. But again, this lemongrass will definitely not go in the soup. And you might find some recipes out there that they throw it into the soup. But I promise you, it's not comfortable when you have to bite into one of these little pieces of grass, because you might get some of these little grassy fibers stuck in between your teeth. But ooh, you should smell this. It smells delicious. But again, it's going into my stock pot. All right, so now in my stock pot, now I have the chicken skins and the chicken bones. I have the galangal, and then I have the lemongrass. And I added 1 cup of water there, so I'm gonna add the other cup of water. So I have 2 cups of water there. Okay, I'll turn on the heat, and I let it come to a boil, and then let it simmer. Again, I do this before I know I'm gonna make the soup. So you wanna prepare this at least an hour ahead of time. For the sake of the video, I'm doing it here so you can see exactly how I make that stock. Okay? Now, the chicken's marinating. I'm working on my stock. Okay, so now let me work with my ingredients. I take a half yellow onion, and dice it up like this. Notice I always curl my fingers. I grab onions like this, and I let the top of the knife hit my knuckles, so it keeps myself from cutting myself. Now the fun begins. I take a tablespoon of a combination. This is half and half canola oil and olive oil, extra virgin olive oil. So we know that olive oil comes from olives, but canola oil, there's no such plant called as a canola. The canola means oil, Canada oil, Canada oil. But in Canada, they make this oil from this. It's a rapeseed. They produce it from rapeseed plant, and they call it Canada oil, canola. That's where the word canola comes from. Okay, so I'm gonna put in about a tablespoon of oil. There's something about chicken, if you sear it a little bit, if you just brown it a little bit with the onions, okay? When I cook, I always cook my onions first. My onions always cook first. But this time, I'm gonna cook my onions right along with the chicken. I'm gonna sear it with onions to bring out that chicken flavor and the onion flavor. This is like if I was gonna cook me a chicken, half a chicken or a chicken thigh with a chicken thigh and the drum. You know how you get it at the grocery store? If I was gonna bake it, first I'll sear it on a cast iron pan. I'll sear it on each side, let it brown a little bit, and then I'll throw it in the oven. There's something about searing chicken or any kind of meat that just brings out the flavors. See? Now notice, I haven't added salt or pepper to this because there was salt in the marinade. I haven't added pepper. There's no need for me to add pepper because we're gonna have some chili peppers in there. And then this red curry paste, that's got some salt in it. You don't want your chicken stock with all those flavors in there to boil, because if it boils, then it starts to evaporate quickly. So once it starts to evaporate, bring the heat all the way down to the simmer and cover it. Okay. So you can see the onions, they're glazed somewhat. Oh, that chicken smells so delicious. See, I can smell the chicken. If I was to throw it into the soup just to let it boil in water, it wouldn't have the same flavor. Oh yeah. Okay. I'm going to add the red curry paste. The chicken's released a lot of water, so I'm safe. I'm safe. Now I can put the garlic in there and I know it's not gonna burn. There's nothing like burning garlic in a wonderful dish. It's the first thing you can taste. And then I will dice the tomato. Sometimes I think Mexico is punishing America. These Roma tomatoes are so expensive. Now, if you want to save the blade on your knife, always cut the tomato from the inside out. Now this might look like it's taken a long time to cook the soup, but it goes by quickly. Remember, what takes time is letting that marinate go. I'm mixing it well. Make sure that the red curry paste dissolves well. Oh, it smells wonderful. And we haven't added the stock with the galangal, that pine smell, and that lemongrass. Okay, I'm gonna turn down the heat and I'll come right back. I can't wait. Okay, the stock is about ready. I get a strainer. And I pour everything into that strainer. now the chicken is sitting in the stock, but it will boil. But somewhat I seared it, so when you sear it, you're almost sealing it. You seal the chicken skin around it, and then when it starts to cook and it wants to boil, well, the liquid inside the chicken wants to boil too, so that it expands and it kind of tenderizes your meat. Okay? Now, let's add our 1 teaspoon. Excuse me. Let's add 1 tablespoon of fish sauce. Almost half a tablespoon of that coconut sugar. Or if you can find granulated coconut sugar, it's just as good. Now I'm gonna add the mushrooms. I didn't want to dice them up. They're just fine, just like that. Now if you find a mushroom that's too big, this will cut them right in half very easily. Now, if you noticed, I added the mushrooms. You've got your stock, 2 cups of stock in there. You've got your chicken that's been braised with your onions and the ingredients. So I'm gonna let it cook. But again, I have the heat at medium or below. I don't want to get it up to too high, too hot, because then you start to evaporate all those flavors. Right now it's just simmering. It'll cook the mushrooms. Okay. Now, these are, I call them kaffir or kaffir, K-A-F-F-I-R. These are the leaves. Many people just tear them in half and put them in there. What I do, I like to hold on, pinch them like this and cut them. But really what I'm trying to do, let me get in this camera. What I'm trying to do is I'm trying to get that little middle vein there. See? Again, it's not comfortable biting into the soup and then you have to get one of these stuck in between your teeth. Isn't it pretty how this leaf grows? It's 2 of them put together like that, see? This is how that leaf grows. When I'm having the soup, look at the size of the tears of those leaves. When I'm having the soup, I'll bite into the leaf and eat it. You wonder how many leaves I have here? I have like about 9 of them. So maybe you could say 4, maybe 5 for every 2 thighs. I base my recipe on the amount of chicken. Let's see, that was a thick little vein there. See? Now, I'm saving these last 4 leaves for the garnish. In other words, I just want these little green leaves to float on top of the soup. Okay, now comes the fun part. So you have to rub your eyes now. because we're about to touch these hot peppers. I'm taking the stems off. Now, if some of you don't like spicy food, you don't have to use these peppers. You don't have to, or you might limit yourself down to 3. I'm a habanero man. I do jalapenos. I do serrano peppers. I can't eat fried chicken without a jalapeno. So, what I'm going to do here is just smash them a little bit. Actually, I'm going to just... You know what I just noticed that I didn't do with the lemongrass? And I'll do it on one of these. Remember when I said peel the first layer? But I get a meat tenderizer and I stop it like this. What this does, it brings out the oils. Here's what I'm going to do. 1, 2 teaspoons of this chicken bouillon. Now the reason why I do that is, remember I put lemongrass in that galangal. Once you buy that galangal and you smell it, you're gonna wonder why. Is it gonna overpower the other flavors? Well, just in case that maybe that chicken wasn't, it didn't let enough flavor. Because if you buy chicken that free range chicken is more flavorful than the ordinary chicken with all the hormones and all the antibiotics in it. So you might not get that chicken flavor. But you'll notice if you buy a free-range chicken and you boil it, your water will turn yellow. Because now you know that's real chicken. So I do that just for the safety of it all, to say, well, it still has that little chicken flavor. So I add just 2 teaspoons of that chicken bouillon. Oh yeah, this smells great. So, I'm gonna cook it for about 10 minutes. Why? It's because I can turn up the heat. I'm not gonna get it to boil, but I'll turn up the heat. I'll turn up the heat and cook the mushrooms well. Sometimes you can't tell the mushrooms from the chicken. Be right back. Okay, we're back. So this is nice and hot. I can smell the spices and all. So we have one more ingredient to put in there, and that's our coconut. And I'm using coconut cream. You could use coconut milk or coconut cream. I like these cans with a little easy opener. Here's a little something or a little trivia. Mankind invented the tin can, but they didn't invent the can opener till 45 years or 48 years later. Go figure. They were probably opening the way we do when our can opener would break. we'd use a knife and cut it right down the middle. Now, I'm not concerned about cooking the chicken anymore. The chicken's cooked, all the vegetables are cooked, the mushrooms are cooked. So right now it's just a matter of blending the coconut cream with the rest of the soup, the chicken stock and the chicken. Now, and the reason why I wait till the end, because if you heat up this, if you get this to boiling, you know, you just want to scald it, but if you get it to boiling, you're gonna break the coconut. Then you're gonna have spots of oil. It's gonna be very oily. You'll break down the cream. So keep it nice and warm. I've noticed I've got it on medium low. I mean, I'm all the way to low, but I'll kick it up just a bit, but I won't even go as far as medium, just low heat. Now, the finale is there's our cilantro. You may think that was a lot of cilantro, but really it isn't. Now, as I stir it, well, just look at this. Look how watery it is. So don't expect to find that you're not gonna want a thicker soup. This is a good soup at wintertime, and this is a great soup in the summertime because it's a light soup. It's just wonderful. But I promise you, you're gonna thank me. This is fantastic. I don't know how many times I make this soup. It's great during the holidays. Now, when I said that I wanted the leaves for the garnish, they just look nicer at the top, and some little pieces of cilantro on top. Look at those spoons, isn't that great? And they're flat at the bottom so they can just sit on the table. Look how great that looks. You know what's really good? You know what's really good to have the soup with? Earlier I made some jasmine rice. Serving this soup over jasmine rice. This is the best soup ever. And it's cold outside today, and it's cozy, it's nice, it's just wonderful. And the mushrooms are cooked perfectly. You know what Al Pacino would say? He would say, forget about it. Forget about it. That's what it is, forget about it.